What's up everybody, this is Tim with BassRoots Fishing, and today we're going to talk about hot water fishing. Alright, so we all know it's summertime, it's hot outside, and when it's hot outside, the fish don't really want to bite very good. There's some little tips and tricks that we're going to go over on how to get that bite so that you can get more fish on the boat, or even if you're going to be bank fishing, how to get more fish onto the bank. Take some pictures of them, show your friends that hey, you can catch fish all the time. Starting with the ponds, what you want to do when you're at a pond, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Early morning, you're going to be able to hit your top waters, your nice swim jigs. You can pretty much hit anything early in the morning when they're up close, they're feeding, and they're really active when the water temperatures are lower compared to the afternoon when the sun's right on top of them and they're really hungry. Okay, so at that point, early morning, do what you like to do. Going into the afternoon when the temperatures get a little bit hotter, then you're gonna have to change things up. Depending on the size of your pond there and the depth of your water, you will probably have to go a little bit deeper. You're probably have to go further out into the pond. Gonna go deeper. You're gonna be using smaller jigs. You're gonna be doing a little bit more finesse, maybe even just a standard Texas rig worm, weightless, and you're really gonna be fighting for a bite. You don't want to use a wacky rig too much, something that moves a lot, because they're not going to want to do anything. It's like eating a big steak at lunchtime. When you go back to work, you're going to be lazy. You don't want to do nothing, right? So you got to have a small meal for them, something that's going to entice them to want to move a little bit, but not chase. All right, so a good little drop shot, or even just a Texas rig, or something small like a little finesse jig, should get it okay. Now Mike Bass Reaper, he's gonna show you a tactic in another video on how to use some worms and some coverage when you're pond fishing, because he's got a couple little tricks and tips that he's gonna throw out there. When it's really hot out, like afternoon time, sun's up, it's blazing, sky's clear, it's so hot, you're not getting a bite. How can we get a bite? That's what this graph's for. I'm gonna break it down for you. All right. So first and foremost, when you're talking about hot weather and bass, okay, they're gonna be coming off that bank. So you don't wanna be fishing towards the bank and then pulling it out unless you're near a ledge, all right? Or you're near a creek mouth. Now, most of the time they're not gonna be around the banks unless it's early morning and the water temperatures are lower. All right, so in the afternoon, what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be looking for the ledges. If you kind of bear with me here, this is a kind of a picture of a graph, all right, on your fish finder. All right, so taking a look at the graph here, this shows the line on the bottom of the water here. All right, so this is your land line, how it's going to go down. This is going to be shallower water here, and this is going to be deeper water over here. All right, this is your water line, your land line, and all these here. These are going to represent the fish. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to look for this drop off here. Okay, this is your ledge. This is where your water goes from shallow to deep, just right here in this area. Bass are going to be coming off of this shallower water, and they're going to be sitting at the bottom of these ledges, and they're going to be ready for food. They want this food that's coming off of this down here to these cooler temperatures so that they can attack that, or they're just going to be sitting down here in the cooler water trying to get a little bit of relaxation. Everybody likes relaxation in cool water this time of year, right? I do. I jump at the pool. Right. So these fish that are up here, these suspended fish, these are going to be different types of fish. There may be a bass in there somewhere, but most of the bass aren't going to stack. You see how these go up and just straight up in stacks like this? Bass are not going to stack. They're actually going to spread across the bottom. They're going to lay out. They may not all be on the bottom. You might have a couple of them that are in the same area, a little bit stacked, but they're going to be a little spread out. And you'll see these on the bottom. Now I have this one here, kind of looks like a tic tac. That's the one you really want to go after, because that one's the one that's just sitting there. He's chilling. He's a big guy and he's just chilling. He ain't doing nothing. So what you want to do is you want to drop down towards him and let your bait work in front of him, and he'll eat that. these over here as well are just chilling on the bottom. They might not be as big as this here Tic Tac, but they're still gonna have some size to them. This is where your bigger fish are gonna be at, is down at the bottom. Now, I'm not saying that these aren't gonna be bigger fish, but these are where you really want, is these ones down here at the bottom. These here at the top, you're probably gonna be like your crappie, your bluegills and everything, but there still may be some bass up there, but that's okay. These are the ones we're going for, and this is what we're talking about today, is these ones on the bottom. How are you gonna get that hard bite during this hot temperatures, okay? So with that said, how do you get to these guys here? Well, I'm gonna show you. All right, so what I would suggest to start off with, you can do one of two things. If you really want to test the depth to see where they're at, and you really want this to be at least 8 to 10 feet. This 8 to 10 feet is going to play a big difference in your water temperatures. This can be, you know, a couple inches, this can be a couple feet, this can be 5-6 feet. As long as this drop down is 8 to 10 on average, I mean, you can go 15, but you're not looking for anything like 20-25 feet. You're really not looking that deep, because if they're going that deep, the water's gonna be even colder and they're not gonna like it. So you wanna get in between that 8 to 10, maybe 15 at most kind of range. So that's what we're looking for, those ledges that are going down right to that 8 to 10 foot range, all right? So the first thing we can use is a drop shot, which we all know what a drop shot is. All right, I'm using right now, this is a Z-Bait Co. Bamboo Bomber S, and the, what color was this one? This was the Green Magic with red and green flake. So this is an awesome color. I love this color, and I'm just gonna drop that on a 1/2 ounce tungsten weight. This one is by Swagger Tungsten. It's a no chip Vader weight. So I'm gonna use this, I'll be able to drag across the bottom. This thing's gonna have all sorts of wiggle to it, and it's gonna make any of these suspended fish here kind of take a look at it, all right? So it's gonna drag the bottom. We're gonna see if there's any structure down there, because that's another thing we're looking for. We're looking for a lot of structure, because these fish are definitely gonna be holding to that structure. Now, once I have this guy in play, if I get a few bites, great. If I don't get any bites, that's fine, because this weight right here is going to feel every bit of that structure that's down there. So we know where our structure is compared to our bottom line. Okay, so if we have some structure up here, we know we can work with that. If we got some structure down here, we can work with that as well. All right, so once we know where our structure is at, then what we really want to do is we want to start off with a Carolina rig. This is my favorite rig to throw in this type of situation. Okay, I throw it a little differently. If you want to see my setup here, I don't have one of those long swivels with the metal on it and everything. All I simply do is I put a stop here with a bumper. I have my glass bead, and of course I have a 1/2 ounce Swagger Tungsten Carolina rig weight. This one is again the Vader no chip tungsten, another bead, and then another stopper. Still allows for some noise, but it's not too loud. It's not gonna scare off those fish that are chilling down here. It's just gonna give them, you know, that little bit, hey, what do you got going on over there? Get them to look at it and get them to attack it. Okay, I'm gonna give myself at least 6 to 8 inches of a lead, and then I'm gonna attach just a standard worm hook. On this one, I've got a 7-inch worm hooked up on here. This is actually the ribtail worm from Z-Bait Co. This is in the plum color. Great color to use. I love it to death. This is probably one of the best baits to use on a Carolina rig, especially when they're down low and they're being really groggy. The tail on it will actually float a little bit, and you can see the ribs on it. It's nice and chunky, makes a lot of noise, and we'll get some bites. So what we're gonna do with that Carolina rig is we're actually gonna throw it up here at the top, all right? Then we're gonna work our way down that ledge right there. Okay, and as we go down this ledge, we'll get it in front of these guys here, all right, which may or may not want to do anything, but the point is to get it down here with all the structure that we felt originally with the drop shot weight. We'll be able to tell where these guys are sitting, what we actually can work with, and when we hit that structure, our bait, since it's got that gap there, our bait's not sitting in that structure. It's off to the edge of that structure, and it's just kind of chilling there. So we're gonna pull it off of that structure and let it fall down again, go a little bit further and we're gonna get down to these big guys here. And we're gonna work our way all the way across the bottom here and try to get every one of these guys to look at our baits. All right, now you can also get some of these on the fall, which that's okay, but most of the time these smaller fish that are stacked like this, they're not gonna be worried about a big bait. They're gonna want something a little bit smaller. Now they may attack a bigger bait, that's fine. Hey, a fish is a fish, but we're going after the big bass, which can be down here at the bottom. So it's gonna be our point to get it right here at the top and work our way down, because that's what these fish right here are looking for. They're actually looking for those baits, those bait fish, those little things that they like to eat to come off that ledge down into that cooler water. And that's what they're looking for, and that's what we want to give them. Okay, so that's our first tip. All right, now if all that's not working and you got a lot of grass up here, okay, grass is great. We love grass. All right, so if you got a lot of grass and your Carolina rig's not working, you just can't seem to get a bite off of it, what you want to do is you want to take, you know, like a medium to deep diving crank, something that's going to go at least 10 to 12 feet. All right, you want to throw it here, all right, just right at the peak, and you want to work your way down. Crank it real hard until it gets down there. And then when it gets down there, you want to just slow it down. Just let it slow roll through there. All right. Now, if you get some of that grass, you get some of that structure, you're gonna feel that bump, and it might feel like a fish bite, but you don't want to set that hook. When he hits, you know he's gonna hit, because that big daddy right there is gonna hit it and he's gonna run, and you're gonna feel it, and then you'll set the hook and you're gonna pull that bad boy up out of there. Don't get discouraged if you start pulling and you don't have anything over it. You just got to learn how to get the feel of the grass and of the structure. All right. Look for incoming and outgoing water. Why we want incoming and outgoing water is because that's fresh, cool water. It's oxygenated water. That's what these fish that are down here are looking for, that fresh, cool, oxygenated water. But they're also looking for the baits that are coming in and going out. So you need to watch the currents. If you got a lot of strong current coming in, you want to actually throw into the current, all right, and let your bait come to you. All right, let that bait come with the current. Now, if you got current going out, you want to throw away from that current, all right, and let it follow that current outward, because the bigger fish that are waiting, like these guys down here, they're waiting for that current to come to them. All right, they're not sitting at the back following the current, they're waiting for that current to come to them. So if you've got outgoing water, you want to throw it away from the outgoing water and let it go into that outgoing water. If you got incoming water, you want to throw it into the incoming water and let it come to you through that incoming water, so that you got every opportunity to have that bait go right in front of that fish's face. That about sums it up. That's for hot weather fishing. So remember, find you a ledge, all right? Remember, this is gonna be, you know, probably 1 to 5 feet, all right? And this here, you want this to be 8 to 10 foot. It's okay to go up to about 15 feet, that's fine as well, but you don't want anything 20 plus feet. That is a no-no. All right, we don't want 20 plus feet. We don't need it, and it's no good. All right, this is Tim with BassRoots Fishing. Check us out on Instagram. Also check me out on Instagram at Tim Stoneking. That's TimStoneking. Check out Mike the Bass Reaper and a couple of our other buddies as well. We're gonna have all sorts of new content coming. Keep your eyes open. Bless y'all.